Have you heard of an amazing camera with a resolution of 576 megapixels? बस इसकी खासियत यह है it has autofocus and captures highly stable images. And not just that, it works great both in bright light as well as in low light conditions. अब क्या आप गेस कर सकते हो ये कौन से वीडियो कैमरा की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ? नहीं, दिस इज नॉट अ DSLR. ये कोई आईफोन का कैमरा भी नहीं है, बल्कि ये तो है आपकी और मेरी आंखें, द ह्यूमन आई. Hello, hi, welcome. In this genius video, we will learn about this amazing camera, the human eye. We will take a journey into the human eye and look at how it works. So let us start with the front portion of the eye. This front portion of the eye is what is visible to us when we look at someone's eye. The white portion of the eye is tough and protects the interior of the eye. Now, the circular part in the center has a transparent layer around it called the cornea. Behind the cornea, we have this colored portion of the eye. इसे कहते हैं iris. Now, the iris is a muscular structure that controls the amount of light entering the eye. There is a hole in the center of the iris called the pupil, through which the light enters the eye. This was just the front portion of the eye. अब ऐसा करते, let us take a look at the full eye and अंदर क्या-क्या है. What is inside it? Now, if we look at the side view, the eye looks something like this. As we can see, the eye has a roughly spherical shape. As we saw earlier, the front layer of the eye is the cornea. Behind the cornea क्या है? We find the iris, and this hole in the iris is the pupil. Behind the pupil of the eye is a lens, which is thicker in the center and thin at the edges. Now, what kind of a lens is thick at the center and thin at the edges? याद करो. Yes, it is a convex lens. याद है हमने पढ़ा था, है ना? So, you know that a convex lens converges the light that falls on it. The lens focuses light on the back of the eye on a layer called the retina. The retina is like the film in the old film cameras or the digital sensor in today's digital camera. The retina contains a large number of nerve cells that are sensitive to light. Now, these nerve cells are known as rods and cones. The rod cells are sensitive to dim light and the cone cells are sensitive to bright light. Sensations felt by the nerve cells are then transmitted to the brain through the optic nerve. At the junction, when the optic nerve meets the retina, there are no nerve cells. So, no rods and cones at this junction. Now, this is known as the blind spot since no vision is possible at that spot. So, now that you have an understanding of the different parts of the eye and their function, how about you try to answer this question? What does iris do to the pupil when you are in bright sunlight? Does it increase or decrease the size of the pupil? और आपका जवाब क्या है? पता है ना आपको? Yes, if you have guessed that the iris decreases the size of the pupil so that less amount of light enters the eye, then आपका जवाब बिल्कुल सही है. It is absolutely correct. So, let us now quickly summarize what we have learnt so far. First, the shape of the eye is roughly spherical. Second, the white part of the eye is tough and protects the interior of the eye. Third, the circular part of the eye is transparent and is called the cornea. It is transparent so that light can enter. Fourth, behind the cornea, we find a dark muscular structure called the iris. The iris controls the amount of light entering the eye. Fifth, the small hole in the iris is called the pupil. The size of the pupil is controlled by the iris. Sixth, behind the pupil of the eye is a convex lens. The convex lens focuses the light entering the eye on the back of the eye. Seventh, the layer at the back of the eye where the light is focused is called the retina. Eighth, the retina consists of nerve cells that are sensitive to light, known as rods and cones. Ninth, cones are sensitive to bright light and rods are sensitive to dim light. 10th, the sensation felt by the nerve cells are sent to the brain through the optic nerve. 11th, at the junction where nerve cells and the optic nerve meet, there is no image formed. This spot is known as the blind spot. Now, the human eye is one of the most important sense organ. So, care must be taken so as to not damage the eye. For instance, first, too little light can cause eye strains and headaches. Second, too much light can injure the retina. Third, you should never rub your eyes in case of dust. Wash your eyes with clean water. Fourth, always read at a normal distance. जीनियस से पढ़ो, जीनियस बनो.